I'm Chris Cook. I am a parent of 3 students, and my kids range from, I have a college graduate, yay! I have one that's a sophomore in college currently, and I have a sophomore in high school. My family came to Central Catholic through the Epiphany route. My husband passed away 2 weeks before my youngest started kindergarten, so that would have been 10 years ago. And we had already had 2 kids in Catholic school, and when that happened, I did not know how I was going to afford Catholic school going forward. When the opportunity came for my oldest to start high school, it was not even a question. I was going to do everything I could to continue that at the Catholic high school. And I was worried. I was very worried. I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. I'm grateful that the Central allowed me to continue that for my kids. I didn't know how I was going to afford it. And I have people all the time. People all the time are like, how are you affording, not asking me directly, but I know they're thinking, how in goodness sake is she affording 3 kids in Catholic school? I don't do it by myself. There's no way. I wouldn't be able to. I'm grateful that Central has allowed me to be able to continue that education for my kids. The assistance that I received was mainly tuition, but it's also been able to be used for the books and the fees and different things like that that's associated with my entire bill at Central Catholic. I don't think my kids have missed out on anything. There's no difference between who are the kids that are, receiving financial assistance. You would never know. It's a very equal playing field with that. But I think my kids, I know that they're grateful that they've had that opportunity to continue that education there. I really feel that Central Catholic, it's really helped my kids be a part of the entire faith-based community there, but it's also helped me be a part of the entire community. I really feel like I am a big part of that community, and I will continue to be a part of that community for years to come. I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you, because without this, I would not be able to have done this for my kids. So thank you. If you're considering making a donation, if you've made a donation in the past, thank you for helping change and shape my children's lives and my life.
The story that you just heard is one of many ways that we've been able to have an impact on a student and family's life here in Bloomington Normal. I've heard it once said that talent is equitable, but opportunity is not. We have the ability at Central Catholic to provide opportunities where they currently don't exist. We know that the number one reason why families do not choose Central Catholic, they don't even think that it's a possibility, is because of financial considerations. So it is our desire, it is our vision to break those barriers down, to provide an education at Central Catholic that is faith-based, that is family-oriented, for every family, for every student in our community who shares in our values and desires the ability to attend Central Catholic. So I invite you to partner with us to provide that opportunity for those families, for that student, to attend Central Catholic.
Hi, I'm Chandra. My husband and Bob and I moved here to Bloomington in the 90s. We bought a wonderful old house on Washington Street. And so we were lucky that we were able to choose from many different schools that we could send our kids to. We were very involved in the Catholic Church. We both went to the University of Notre Dame, where we had a good Catholic education. And so Catholic education was very important to us. It was very important to us. And so we decided that we wanted our children to have Catholic education. So they went to Holy Trinity for elementary, and then we sent our kids to Central Catholic. We ultimately wanted Catholic education because we wanted our children to feel comfortable talking about their faith, learning about God, learning the many tenets of the Catholic Church, living the many tenets of the Catholic Church, and we thought the best thing would be at Catholic school. And all of our kids now still go to church every Sunday. They're involved in different aspects of their religion, and they are very happy to practice their religion and live their faith. We have 6 children. All 6 of them have come through Central Catholic. Our oldest started in 2007 and graduated in 2011, and then we had one graduate, second oldest, Isaiah. So our oldest is named Xavier. Our second oldest, Isaiah, graduated in 2013. Our third oldest, Barrett, graduated in 2017. And then our daughter Renata graduated in 2019, and then our daughter Francesca graduated in 2021, and then our son Robert Michael Jr., who we call Rem, graduated in 2023, just this past May. We loved the education that they got here. They had a lot of wonderful classes, wonderful teachers. They allowed my children to all go to excellent colleges. They also were able to be involved in many extracurricular activities because it's a little bit of a smaller school. They were able to do multiple sports, multiple clubs at the same time. The wonderful thing about being involved at Central Catholic was I was able to start small. I started out with my oldest driving back and forth. Chuck asked me to help drive with field trips or help drive different things. I volunteered in the cafeteria, and then as time progressed, I got more and more involved. Eventually, I was coordinating all the volunteers for the cafeteria. When your kids are involved in sports at Central Catholic, they love to have parents involved as well. So I did. I did concessions. I've done concessions for many different for tennis, for football, for I've driven kids to cross country meets. The other thing is the service. The Central Catholic students are asked to be doing service for the community. So I've helped coordinate kind of that, especially I know some people that have sons especially get a little frustrated because they tend to be not as proactive as our daughters to find volunteer opportunities. So I have helped do that. And eventually I was asked to be, because I was so involved, I was asked to be on the board. I was on the enrollment committee for the board, the advancement committee. I was eventually made president of the Central Catholic Board. We would advise Sean on things that he needed help, advice with or guidance with. And then I was involved with the Fund for Central Catholic. Eventually Bob and I chaired the Fund for Central Catholic, and we will be as involved as we need to be, even in the future. The things that have kept me coming back to serve are just to be involved in education and Catholic education in general. When I was growing up, I kind of wanted to be a teacher. I did want to be a teacher, and my life turned out differently. I went into human resources instead, but this gave me a chance to still be involved in the school on peripheral level, and also kind of firsthand knowledge to see what a wonderful education Central Catholic gives to all of their students, and also get to know faculty. It's great that I was able to got to know a lot of the faculty really, really well, and one of the best things about being involved with Central Catholic were the other parents, and getting to know the other parents and being friends. I have a group of friends from Central Catholic and from Catholic education that we are called the Saints Support Group. It's a group text. There's about 10, 12 of us that constantly are texting each other, doing things together, and they've become, they are like my best friends, and all of us met because of Catholic education, because we sent our kids to either Holy Trinity or Central Catholic, and it's been a wonderful having relationships with people like that. So I am still involved because for the longest time I coordinated all the volunteers for the lunchroom duty, as we call it. And Laura Miller, who runs the cafeteria, is one of my really good friends who's in the Saints Support Group. And I didn't want to leave her high and dry. And I think it's getting a little harder. People are really, really busy, and it's really hard to get people that have the time or to be involved at the school. And since I had done this for so long, which is coordinating the volunteers, I just thought, you know what, I'll just keep doing this. I have a little bit of free time. My kids are all in college. And like I said, Laura's a good friend, and I thought, you know what, I have time. I'm just going to keep helping out. This will probably be my last year. We're probably looking for somebody else that can maybe take over. Although if she needs me, I'll be there for her, because setting up a Sign Up Genius is something I can do from Florida or I can do from here. So Laura, if you still need me, I will be here for you. So when Kevin called me about this, I was like, I kind of experienced a little bit of imposter syndrome, thinking, I'm just this person who comes and I help out. I'm a mom. Do I really deserve this? And then I look back and think, I am so happy in all that I've been involved with at this school. I'm actually very sad. When my youngest graduated, I thought I've been involved at Central Catholic since 2007. What am I going to do? I don't know, because I just love this school so much, and I love the direction that they're going in. And it makes me happy that enrollment is going back up, that there's so many people are realizing in the community that Central Catholic really offers a wonderful education. I can't wait to see from afar all the wonderful things that the school accomplishes, and that Kevin accomplishes, and Sean and Mr. McGraw, and all the new people coming in that are so enthusiastic. And I'm very, very excited to see what happens in the future with this school. I think there's some great things that are going to happen.
Hi, my name is Dan. I'm a 1984 graduate of Central Catholic. I was the third of 4 Kraus children that attended the Central Catholic schools. My folks were very involved with Central Catholic. A lot of people would know my dad, Joe, who was the scoreboard operator for the basketball games for 30 years. He also ran the chain crew for 30 years for football. And my mom, Kathy, was very involved in Central Catholic Boosters and a lot of volunteer activities within the school. My time at Central, was a very fun time in my life. There was friends that I've made there that continue to be friends today. I think it was a great start. It taught me a lot from an athletic standpoint. I had great coaches. I had great teachers. And it was just a very positive experience. And as I raised my own family, as I'm, my wife Lisa and I today, we are practicing Catholics. We feel like we want to give back, and this is a great way for us to do this. Being a faith-based school, I think it's important because you're part of something bigger. I think we all are doing things to make the most of the gifts we've been given. And I think that's always, for me, been, when I talk about sort of religion and the things that are important to me as my relationship with God, I feel like, when I've been given a lot, I should respond and give a lot. And so I think that's been instilled early in a faith-based education. Central Catholic was about that. When you have a lot of responsibility, and you've been given a lot, you have an obligation to give back. And so it presents what I call that servant's heart. And I think, a school like Central promotes that. I think that continues later in life. And then I think you're able to instill that not only, in a religious aspect, but in all aspects of your life, whether that's work, whether how you raise your own family, etc. So a couple of years ago, my wife Lisa and I, we served on the board, the fund board, the Central Catholic Funding Board, to raise money for the school. And we both live in Atlanta. My wife works for State Farm as well, and she's a product of Catholic education in Kentucky, but not our system. So she's a believer in that. And both of us served on this committee, and we helped Central sort of reach out to folks, to alumni that were what we called beyond Bloomington, that had moved out from Bloomington for their career, family life had taken them elsewhere. But I think still would be good to want to give back to, Central, that sort of laid this foundation for them to spread their wings and move on. And so we started some letter writing campaigns, some calling, some other things to try to reach out and say, hey, even though you've moved on, you're outside of Bloomington, it's still, Central Catholic's still doing a lot for folks here that you experienced, and it's still a very worthy cause for us to continue to pay back what was so much that was given to us. As I sent letters to a lot of the folks, not only in my class, but I handled sort of the decade before and after, and I knew a lot of those people from associations. I did hear back from people, like they would send, they sent notes. I had my own personal return address on the envelopes, and so I did get notes and then texts, and I've been in contact with several, not only of my classmates, but again, other people that were at least close in age about, hey, what are you doing? How can we give back? I think it was successful. A lot of people, we increased sort of those that now are associated again with the school, and it's good, it's positive. I mean, I think people have great memories of Central Catholic. They want to still be a part of it in some way, and this allows them to have an avenue to still be associated with the school. I'm excited that the school's enrollment has been pretty stabilized, that there's a lot of enrollment in the younger ages. I think the new school, obviously I was in the downtown school, which was great, which is a lot of fun, but I mean the facilities in the current environment are so much better, which they should be, and it's fun to have been a part of that in a small way, at least even financially, to provide what I think is an outstanding private school education that really competes with the private education that I've seen in some bigger cities that I've lived in. Our school at Central is outstanding, and it holds up both academically, our facilities with the best. Yeah, I think, your faith is going to be tested throughout your life, right? Life doesn't always go perfectly, and a perfect example of this is as we were working with the Central Catholic Committee in 2021, my wife Lisa was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she had to take an understandable pause, and we had to fight this terrible disease. And to watch a loved one like that go through chemo, radiation, it really does test your faith. And yet both of our Catholic faiths, I think, were critical then and have been since to get her healthy, strong, and she's the strongest woman I know, and I'm incredibly proud of her. And I think that foundation of faith really was critical for both of us during that tough time. When Kevin called, I think, first of all, it wasn't something I was expecting, obviously. Kevin and I have worked together for a few years just on the fundraising aspects of Central and trying to do the things that we've talked about, bringing more people into that, folks that have been outside of Bloomington. So it's an honor. I think for me, having my parents have been so involved for so long, and having my brothers and sisters also being involved, and then bringing as I mentioned, my wife Lisa involved. And my kids, Tiffany and Jack, both went to the Central Catholic schools when we were in town. The years we were here, they went to St. Clair. And so having that much involvement and then being selected to be honored for a school that's meant a lot to me, and as much respect as I have for the folks that go and have gone to Central Catholic, it's certainly an honor for me to be thought of in that way by our school. Yeah, I think Central Catholic has given all of us, both a tremendous start in our lives and our careers, many times our kids, other folks that we know. It's a unique and it's a great thing that each of us have experienced. And I feel like, we've had some success. A lot of that can be attributed to Central Catholic. And it really is our obligation to give back so others can experience the same things that we have, to build a stronger community, a Catholic education community. And it's a great opportunity for us, and I think it's a responsibility for us to participate and to have other people experience the same things that we have.